probably not a good idea to try and film when it is blaring down sunlight, right? Oh well. So anyway, the third season of Slow Horses wrapped up a couple of months ago. So what better time to jump into a series than right there? Seems to make sense to me. And after jumping into the series, I'm good. I'm going to jump right out. So basically, if you haven't heard or seen the show, I applaud you. But, in case you haven't, Slow Horses is basically British 24. Not that 24 didn't do that already, but I digress. It's counterterrorism. Show about counterterrorism. And terrorists doing terrorist things because of terrorism. And they decide, okay, we're going to follow these counter-terrorists, stop being terrorists because terrorists. Now, on paper, that's a good concept for a show. Keyword, on paper. In reality and in practice, the show fails to get any of the coolness that 24 had. Now, don't get me wrong, 24 was pro-American propaganda, but at least it was intense, had good drama. They actually cared a little bit about the characters. This show tries to be more realistic, however. Which means they make the characters all stupid. And it doesn't work. Something else the show does like to do is have the main characters fight about stupid shit. Our heroes, ladies and gentlemen. Hydrate or dihydrate. Now, the show also loves to do political drama. And 24 did this too, but 24 integrated it into the plot. And it made it part of the action, you know. Say a senator was doing this, thus the terrorist of the season was doing this, so Jack Bauer had to go solve the problem. In Slow Horses, the political drama is shoved in for a forced message that governments suck. And you're not necessarily wrong about that, but you're just saying it to say it rather than properly integrating it into the plot, as a good message should do. Instead of Islamic extremists with no personality, we have far-right people with no personality. As far as characters go, they all suck. They're supposed to be like badass misfit type of characters, but not in a cool way like Guardians of the Galaxy or Bad Batch. They're just goofballs that always make mistakes. Now, the thing about incompetent characters is they have to be incompetent in a way which is charming. And they still have to have some level of intelligence in order to make us think they're real people. Like Karen from Mean Girls. In the original, she's stupid, obviously, but she is aware of her own stupidity, and she has her own logic to things which don't make sense to us. But when she explains it to other people, it makes us, she's acting like, oh, we're the idiot. And she's a charming character. And the new one, which I just reviewed, and I forgot to mention, Karen is literally a face and a pair of nothing else. There's zero personality, and she is too stupid for her own good. Like, she would slip in the shower type of dumb. Thus, detracting from the charmingness of her character. Similar situation here. The characters are dumb, and the point of the story is that they're not good at anything, but yet they're supposed to be our main characters, solving the problems of the world, and it just doesn't work. If you're going to be the main character of an action thing, you got to be good at stuff, you know? That's why they made Arnold good at everything in every one of his movies. Or take me, for instance. I'm a dummy. I'm dumb at a lot of things. I don't math. I'm no scientist. I'm no philosophizer. You ask me to solve the world's problems, I'm not going to have any answers. But I am good at one thing. I'm good at deadlifts. So you'll watch me, even though I'm a absolute fool. Your intrepid, dum-dum host who manages to tear calluses. So, I was supposed to do, this is the and here we are, the next day. I was supposed to do farmer carries and tire flips after that deadlift, but I gotta be honest, after that deadlift, my neck was really, really tight. It was really painful, and I had some trouble moving it. It's feeling a lot better now, but you know, sometimes you gotta know when to say when. So I apologize for not having some cool, fun lifting weight stuff that you all enjoy. However, so as not to give you an incomplete video, and hopefully this will be somewhat entertaining, I have to do something that I have been putting off for a little bit, and that is barbell maintenance. Yeah, these things are made to be not indestructible, but you still have to maintain them. So that is what we are going to do today. Hopefully this will be halfway entertaining, and hopefully in the next video I will not have any injury nonsense. Anyway, so speaking of characters, there's one character in particular that makes me really fucking mad. That's Roddy. Roddy is supposed to be like a parody of, those cyber trolls that are like, oh, I'm a god amongst men. I can take down a fucking nation. Even though I've never been outside, I've never kissed a girl before, but I'm such a badass, worship me, I can take you down, that kind of guy. And that would be fine if it was played tongue in cheek, like, okay, this is an over exaggeration of that type of character. It's clearly, it's not serious, it's a little farcical. Or if, they played it to where this guy talks mad shit, but he's actually a huge pussy in real life. So if someone puts a gun at him, he's like, "Oh fuck, don't hurt me." And he pisses his pants, and guys are like, "Why do you talk shit?" He's like, I'm a little bit of a loser." That might actually be entertaining. This show is not entertaining. It is, in fact, a bad show. So instead of Roddy being that, tongue-in-cheek parody type of character, he is one of the most obnoxious little fucking shit-eating weasels that I have seen in a while. This guy just goes around and he acts all tough and he's like, "Oh, I'm a cyber god. I can do whatever I want. Bow down, worship me." Makes me fucking sick to my ass. He's so fucking obnoxious that I want to shove him into a locker and then throw the locker in the river. And like, hateable characters is something that you naturally have in some stories. And I get that, but Roddy is hateable in an obnoxious way that doesn't make us really hate him. We just want to punch him in the cock. Like, take Livia, for instance. She's an absolutely hate-filled person that just drags everyone down around her, and she enjoys it. But I gotta say, not only is Nancy Marchand fucking killing it, not only does she kill it as Livia in Sopranos, but she's a mover and shaker in the plot. She does important things like screw up Tony's life, call the hit on him, and she just makes us want to hate her and just, God. Or take Chuck from Better Call Saul. He is an arrogant narcissist among arrogant narcissists. He is always like high chin, staring his nose down at people, worship me, I am the almighty Chuck, just look his nose down, I am an officer of the court, and I am like a great lawyer here, and I power of the law, and blah blah blah. And I'm a good person, so la-di-da-di-da. And he drives Saul or Jimmy McGill. He drives his character for being this put upon guy. He's like, he's trying to do the right thing, but he just never catches footing in life. And Saul drives his character arc, and he does such hateful things that when we see him when we see him, die, we actually get a little bit of joy out of it because we're like, yeah, I fucking hate that guy, dude. Roddy, he never does anything to affect the plot, nor does he say anything, nor does he really do anything to really make us think like, oh wow, this guy's super evil or whatever. No, he's just a dipshit. In fact, in the show, it's actually confirmed that he got sent to Slough House. That's part of MI5 where our main characters hang out. That's basically basically the bad boy table, the bad little kid table. And the characters are here either because they really fucked up, or they're, in the case of Gary Oldman's character, they're a little too dangerous for MI5 to fire. The actual reason Roddy got sent to Slough House is because he's annoying. Like in the profile towards the end of the season, they were like, yeah, he's a fucking dipshit, and we just didn't want to deal with him anymore. Like, how fucking pathetic is that? This fucking virgin nerd ass loser who fucking spends all day in his goddamn computer, like, and he's acting like, I'm a cyber god, I'm gonna fucking, fuck everybody up if you don't worship me, blah 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 blah. It's fucking, whatever the hell. And he's just annoying. Everyone in the show is like, no, you're annoying, and you're just an annoying little dipshit. We're not even gonna do anything to you. Dude needs to get shoved in his locker right away. I wasn't a jock in high school, believe it or not, and I never got to shove anybody in their lockers, and I missed my chance. Roddy, this guy I would shove in his locker. What? So, you may be wondering, well, if these characters are so obnoxious, what do they actually do in the show? Well, basically, these Nazis kidnap some Islamic guy because that's what Nazis do, apparently. Get in there. And they're going to chop his head off on TV. Much like 24, this takes place over like a 24-hour period. So it's up to our lovable band of dipshits to try and stop him. Remember what I was talking about before? The comedy of the show relies on our characters being dipshits and idiots. Well, you could probably see the problem. We have a comedy show that's going to rely on, fun, goofy dumbasses, while the main plot is a bunch of Nazis are going to kill a guy in a gruesome, horrific way. Do you see how those two things can come into conflict with each other and clash? If you don't, then you need to get your eyes checked. God damn it. That's what I get for buying the cheap snap rings. Snap ring pliers, I should say. It's like, we see these guys torturing this dude, and, he's clearly in pain, he's screaming, he's crying, and they're like, oh, we don't care, we're going to kill you, we don't give a fuck about human life, whatever. And then we cut back to our characters acting like dumbasses and screwing up and getting fucking made fun of by Gary Oldman. And it's like, it clashes so hard, and it's such a contrast, it just becomes distracting. Like 24 kept it serious the whole time because all the shit they were doing was super serious, end of the world, end of the United States kind of shit. Now, as far as camera work goes, I will say that it is better than 24 in that they don't use a lot of shaky cam, but the story sucks anyway, so how's that a, consolation prize? Now, all that being said, I would forgive the show its faults a little bit more if this was supposed to be a parody or a farce or, making fun of the government in a clever, satirical way. If this was a comedy, basically. But it's not. It's clearly trying to be a serious drama in the ways that, again, 24, Law and Order, those type of shows are trying to be, and it's trying to say something serious, and its message is very serious, like, oh, governments, they suck, and they're really bad, and they often cause a lot of problems, and but the show isn't funny. The characters suck. Pretty much everything you could think of that you would have to have a good show is not in this show. So the fourth season is coming out this year. Uh, I just recommend not even bothering. It's another generic Netflix show that has shitty writing and it's just poorly made. Don't bother with it. Rewatch 24. It's pro-America propaganda, sure, but it's a good bit of fun anyway. Now, this thing is really pissing me off, so I'm not going to waste you guys' time with the nonsense of this, but yeah, show sucks. Later. Thanks for watching. You like that video? That is good news for you. Because there's more like it if you follow the channel and more stuff on the social medias. This is a freshly clean kitchen, by the way, and I'm splattering oil everywhere. I am so smart. But what did you all think? Have you actually seen this show? Has anyone seen this show? I'm actually kind of curious about that because it's a Netflix show, and I don't really understand why I decided to review this. I just kind of saw it, hated it, decided to talk about it. Anyway, if you've seen it, let me know. If you actually liked it, tell me why. Disagree with me. Tell me I'm wrong in the comments. That's your only opportunity to do so anyway. So if you will excuse me, I must get back to cooking. For this will soon be chilly.